Remember last week's unit on humanism? Well, humanism has a big influence on Italian Renaissance artists, and as a consequence, they're focused on things that aren't just purely the realm of the divine, of God. They're focused on everyday people and everyday occurrences, and they're starting to think about depicting rocks and landscapes and ordinary things like that. Now, another thing that happens is a terrible bubonic plague sweeps across Europe and sweeps across much of the world in the middle of the 1300s. And that had the effect of shaking some faith and confidence in God. And that really was a driver in humanism. And so you can understand that people were no longer thinking exactly the way they had 100 or 200 years before. So that there starts to be a new way of thinking. And another thing that happens in accordance with all that is a lot of the intellectuals at the time, a lot of the scholars, a lot of the artisans, they're looking back very much so at the Romans and Greeks, where a lot of their art, a lot of their philosophy, a lot of their literature isn't purely theological in nature. A lot of it is kind of ruminating, that is thinking on, dwelling on the natural world and man's relation to it, individuality. And so this tends to become reflected more in the art than what was seen during the Middle Ages.